Welcome, dear student. Today we are going to discuss the general features of kingdom Animalia. We have already discussed the five kingdom classification. After five kingdom classification, as our paper deals with the animal diversity, we are going to deal or study detail with kingdom Animalia. So, before going to deal the different groups of kingdom Animalia, today we will see the general characters of kingdom Animalia. So, kingdom Animalia is one of the kingdom in five kingdom classification that we have already discussed. And these five kingdom includes kingdom Monera, which is the prokaryotic animals, then kingdom Protista, which is about eukaryotic animals. So if you don't know about prokaryotic and eukaryotic, I have provided the link in description box. Please go through the links so you will get aware about the prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Then the third kingdom, fungi, which is about the multicellular individuals of decomposers. Then fourth is the kingdom Plantae, and the fifth kingdom is kingdom Animalia. So our paper deals with the kingdom Animalia, that is animal diversity. So let's see the general characters of kingdom Animalia. As you know very well, on the earth or into this biosphere, the animals are said to be the chief consumers. They consume the different kinds of the food material which has been prepared by the this autotrophic individuals. So these kingdom Animalia, which includes the multicellular organisms or the multicellular animals, holozoic animals, as well as they are eukaryotics, and they are also called as the metazoans. Multicellular means they are having the many cells. As kingdom Protista, though it is eukaryotics, it includes the animal, but they are unicellular. Here, in case of kingdom Animalia, they are having the multicellular animals, and they are holozoic, means they just intake the food, ingestion of the food is carried out. So that is the holozoic mode of nutrition. Eukaryotic, the nuclear membrane and cell organelles are present, and the many cell, that's why they are also called as a metazoan. Then these kingdom Animalia divide into two groups, invertebrates and vertebrates. But prior to this invertebrates and vertebrates, the major consideration of this kingdom Animalia is non-chordate and chordate. Those individuals which are having the basic fundamental characters, that is notochord, nerve cord and gill slits, they are called as a chordate. And those in which these notochord, nerve cord and gill slits are absent, they are called as the non-chordate. Again, these animals are divided into these two groups, invertebrates and vertebrates. Invertebrates means the individuals without the vertebral column, and vertebrates means the individual with vertebral column. So this is about these two divisions of the kingdom Animalia. Then about the habitat. The kingdom Animalia shows the diverse mode of habitat. They generally found everywhere, and they generally live into the water as well as on the land and into air also. So that is, they are having aquatic habitat, means they are found in marine water as well as fresh water, and they are having a terrestrial habitat, that is they are living on the land. Then they are also found in air, that is aerial mode of habitat, while some of the individuals are fossorial also, they lives into the burrows. So that is about the diversity of kingdom Animalia as far the habitats are concerned. Then, if we see the numerical strength of this kingdom Animalia, about 95% are the invertebrates and 5% are the vertebrates. So, this is the large number that invertebrates are found, and the vertebrates are having the 5%. Then, if we observe the shape, the animals which belong from these, they show the variety of shapes. Means these kinds of the individual, they are having the spherical shape, cylindrical shape, they are elongated, then they are spindle shape. So these are the variety of shapes these kinds of the animal shows. So there is diversity in case of the shape of kingdom Animalia. Then if we observe the size of the animals, then they are also showing the huge diversity. That is, they are microscopic as well as gigantic. Means they are very small, we can't see them with the generally naked eyes, as well as some are huge, gigantic, like the blue whale. So, microscopic, which includes these protozoans, and gigantic, like the whales. Then, if we see the symmetry of the these animals, they show again diversity into their symmetry. Some of the individuals show the diversity in the form of symmetry. And what is about the symmetry? If the individuals are going to be divided from the center of axis, if it divides into the equal half, it shows the symmetry. Whether it divides into two equal half, that is bilateral symmetry, and if it divides into many equal half, that is spherical symmetry. And if the individual is not going to divide into any type of the equal halves, which is called as asymmetrical. So the animals may be asymmetrical, radially symmetrical, then bilaterally symmetrical, and so on. If we see the animal movement, there are some kinds of the animals which do not show any kinds of the movement, but most of the individual or these animals, they show the movement that they displace from one place to another place. And some of the individuals which do not show the movement, which includes their corals as well as these sponges, which then some kinds of the mollusk which do not show the any type of the movement, they are sedentary. Then if we see the segmentation, after the grid organization, we will see the next character, that is diploblastic and triploblastic organization. In case of kingdom Animalia, they show these two grade organization, diploblastic as well as triploblastic. Diploblastic, diplo means two, and this blastics means these are the formation of layer while the development of embryo occurs. The embryonic layers which are going to be formed in these diploblastic animals, these are ectoderm and endoderm. That is, outer layer which is called as ectoderm, while inner layer which is called as endoderm, and these layers are formed as the embryo develop. So these are the embryonic layer. In case of early individuals, it show these diploblastic conditions. But in case of somewhat higher animals, these kinds of the from this annelida and upwards, or these kinds of the Helminth's individual, they show the triploblastic condition or organization. That is, along with this two layer, one or third middle layer is going to be present in this individual, which is called as the mesoderm. So outer ectoderm, middle mesoderm, and inner endoderm is going to be present in these higher individual, that condition which is called as triploblastic condition. So these organizations are seen in case of kingdom Animalia, diploblastic and triploblastic condition. Then if we see the coelom, coelom is nothing but the body cavity. In case of kingdom Animalia, the most of the individuals or the animals, they show the presence of body cavity. As the complexity is going to be organized from this protozoa to chordata, the modification into the body cavity is going to be occurs. The primitive individuals like these kinds of the platyhelminths, that is these kinds of flatworm. These platyhelminths are called as the flatworm. These individuals, they do not show the body cavity, or in which the body cavity is absent, and that's why these are called as acoelomate. So this in which a means absent and coelom means the body cavity. So the body cavity is absent in these kinds of platyhelminths or flatworms, and the example is tapeworm. Then the second type of the coelom, that is pseudocoelom. Pseudo means false, as we have already studied this pseudocoelom in this pseudo term in amoeba which is having pseudopodia. So this pseudo means false. So this pseudocoelom means the false body cavity which is present in aschelminth. These are called as the roundworm. And the example is Ascaris. So these individuals in which the body cavity is not complete or not true, these are called as the pseudocoelomate. And third is coelomate, and these are the individuals from Annelida to chordate. So all these individuals, they show the presence of body cavity, that is they are coelomate. And what is the use of that body cavity? This body cavity are having all these kinds of the vital or visceral organs which are suspended into that cavity, and this cavity is having the fluid which is called as coelomic fluid, and that fluid generally absorb the different shocks and jerks while the movement of organisms or that animals. So they protect the vital organs or visceral organs like the heart, alimentary canals, kidneys, livers. So these are the vital organs which get protected with these kinds of the body cavity. So this is about the types of coelom in animal. If we see the animal system, these higher animals which are having the different systems, so they are having this digestive system. In case of some of the primitive individuals like in sponges, they show this kinds of the primitive types of the digestion. Likewise, this food which has been intaken or ingested by the individuals, and again it has to be processed and ingested out. So this digestive system which is generally going to be modified from porifera to higher chordates, and in case of this from Annelida to higher chordates, or this from this kinds of the coelenterate, the digestive system is going to be modified, that is the. Then again, if we see the respiratory system is again going to be modified. Some kinds of the earlier individuals, they show the respiration through the body surface, while some kinds of the individuals, they are having the gills for the respiration. And in case of this higher animal like these kinds of mammals as well as aves, reptiles, these and amphibians in adult stage, they are having the lungs for respiration. So these are the variety in case of respiration. If we see the excretion, there is again the excretory organ which is present in these animals. There may be the Malpighian tubules, there may be the this green glands, or there may be the nephridia, or the modification of these kidneys. Then if we see the nervous system, the nervous systems which includes the this centers, that is ganglia, as well as the brain, and the different kinds of the nerves arises from that system. So which is again going to be modified from the lower animals to higher animals. If we see the reproductive system, the reproductive system is again going to be modified, and in case of reproduction, the kingdom Animalia show the asexual reproduction, that is without the formation of gamete, sexual reproduction with the formation of gamete. Then they also show the parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis means it is the phenomenon in which the female can produce the young ones without mating with the male. So these kinds of the phenomenon is seen in some kinds of the insect. So this is about the reproductive system. So likewise, these are the different animal systems which are present in kingdom Animalia. Along with that, these kinds of the kingdom Animalia, which shows two major groups. One is a non-chordate, another is chordate. And on the basis of the characters, these groups are to be divided. These are called as the basic fundamental characters of chordate. Those which possesses these characters are called as a chordate, and those without these characters are called as non-chordate. These chordate possesses the dorsal hollow or tubular nerve cord, then longitudinal supporting rod like notochord, and pharyngeal gill slits. Then other general characters are, they are having the cephalization, the most of the sense organs, and the brain, which concentrate on the head region. Then bilateral symmetry divides into two equal half, triploblastic condition, 3-germ layer. They are having a true body cavity, closed circulatory system, blood flow through the closed tubes, then complete digestive system from mouth to anus. Then they are having the equal number of segments, or the segmentation, that is metamerism. They show the endocrine glands or the endocrine systems which is well developed into the animals. So if you want the detail about these distinctive features of the non-chordates as well as a chordate, I have provided the link into the description box. Go through that link and you will get detail about the distinctive features of this non-chordate and chordate. So likewise, these are the general features of kingdom Animalia. So hope you will understood all these kinds of the characters of kingdom Animalia. Still, if you have any kinds of the query and any doubt, please feel free to write into comment box and watch entire videos to get your doubt clear. Thanks, we will see in next lecture.